It is Seed and Weed Wednesday, one of my favorite days. I love getting in the dirt. So this week, like I had promised, we are going to talk about fertilizing our plants. So if you are following along with my planting schedule, if you have already planted your seedlings a couple weeks ago, then you should have your true leaves by now on most of your plants. Maybe not all of your seedlings, but on some of them. So you have a few options at this point, depending on where you planted your seeds. If it is in a small seedling tray, you might at this point want to transfer those seedlings into a bigger pot. Mine are in fairly good size pots at this point for their size. If they start getting too big and unruly, then I will transfer them so that they don't get root bound. My peppers, once those start getting a little bigger, those do like a lot of space. So those I will transfer into bigger pots. But those are not at that point yet. So what I really have a lot of at this point is are herbs, primarily basil. So you can see in this picture that I took of our basil that we have our first true leaves. And so they are ready to be fed. At this point, they've used up a lot of the nutrients that they had in their seed, and they're starting to rely on nutrients in the soil. So we want to make sure that there's plenty in there so that we have strong seedlings that are going to survive once they get planted in the ground. So this is the fertilizer that I use. It's a Neptune fish emulsion and seaweed, and I'm going to be really upfront with you. It stinks. It really smells. So you're going to mix a tablespoon of this to a gallon. So I save like a gallon jug, and or you can get 1 gallon jug of water. Add a tablespoon of this to it, shake it up real good, and then I pour it into sprayers. So this is the sprayer that I use. And you want to do this outside. You definitely don't want to be spraying this in your house. So I bring the tray outside on a nice day, and you want to do it when it is not too sunny out. So either earlier in the morning or later in the afternoon. And you're going to spray your leaves generously, your seedlings generously, and leave them out there for a little bit. This is also a good practice to get them used to being outdoors. You don't want to do it on a really cold day. You want to make sure that it is a warmer day, closer to, the warm afternoon sun, noontime sun, but not in the direct blazing sun, because then you burn your leaves. You also don't want to over fertilize. So when I say a tablespoon per gallon, like more is not better. Okay, this is one of those examples that more is not better. You will actually harm your plant if you put too much. And also last week I talked about some of the stress signals that your plant is going to send to you. And if you're seeing any of those, and you can refer back to last week's when I talk about that. But if you see any of those stress signals from your plant, you don't want to fertilize. Now is not the time to fertilize. You want to correct the issue first and then feed your plant, okay? Because otherwise you're going to end up compounding the problem, and you don't want to do that. If you have any questions, you can always take a picture of your plant and we can try and problem solve together and figure out what the issue is if you have trouble correcting it. You're going to feed it, and you're going to do that once a week. Bring your seedlings outside, give them a good spray down with this fish emulsion. And one other tip, because I do have 3 cats. So if you do have pets in the house, especially cats that are very curious, you want to make sure that you are, especially after you spray these, that you're keeping it in an area that is not accessible to them, because the smell is going to attract them. They're going to be very curious, and they're probably going to dig them up and chew on them. So that is a tip that I have learned the hard way. Keep it away from your pets. The smell, even though it won't be as strong if you leave it outside for a little bit, they'll still pick up on it. So that's something you want to be mindful of. And again, you're going to want to continue with your lights, your grow lights. You can also place them in a sunny window, but grow lights, especially when they're still at this early stage, are really helpful to make sure that your plants are growing strong and not getting too leggy. As they get taller, you want to make sure that you're moving your light up higher so that you're not burning them as well. All right, that's my tips for this week. Good luck. Let me know how your seedlings are doing. I'd love to see pictures of your babies. And as you may have seen, we have opened up a free course on our online university. It is university.nourishmysoul.org. And you will see Let's Start a Garden is the name of the course. It's a pretty intensive course, and it is free to everyone because we really want to encourage everyone to start their own garden. And I understand how daunting that can be if you are a new gardener, or how frustrating it can be if you are looking up information yourself and you're spending all this time and energy and it fails. So I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to have a successful garden, and I want you to feel confident in it. So we have opened up this course, and we would love to have you join us. Again, it's free. Share it with others who you want to have this experience with, and make it a family event. This is something that all of you can participate in. Kids love gardening, and hint, parents, if your kids are involved in growing it, chances are they are going to eat it. So that is another tip on getting those veggies in. So I hope to see you over there. Again, feel free to register. If you have any questions about that, put them in the comments.